Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to take a look at another of these Micromania busts from Black Heart Models. If you've been a viewer of my channel for quite some time, you will know that I am a pretty darn big fan of these Micromania busts, as this is actually my sixth, I believe, of these busts. I have reviewed 5 prior to this, and every one has been incredible, and we are now getting our second Ceratopsian in this line, as previously we've only had a Styracosaurus, so we now have the Pentaceratops, which is a really cool species of ceratopsian, and we've had a lot of ceratopsian reviews on here recently, so why not continue with some more ceratopsians now here with this beautiful Black Heart Models Micromania bust. Again, these busts are awesome, and they're also pretty small, which you can see here next to my hand, which I think is actually a very redeeming factor of them, because you can have quite the collection, as there are now 8 altogether, and you can have quite the collection without taking up very much room in your collection. And also, they're really fun to paint because, again, it's only the head. You don't have to paint too much of the dinosaur, which allows you, if like you're new into building and painting kits and stuff, these are great ways to start getting into the kits because, again, it's something that isn't going to require too much skill as far as building the models. There's not too much to put. I think actually this one had just the horns, I believe, is the only thing I really had to put together on this one. I could be wrong, as it's been, a couple weeks actually since I put it together. I just got it painted, but I had it built for a little while now. But the horns, I believe, were the only thing that I actually had to put together on this particular one. So there's not really too much, again, that you really have to do as far as building your kit, but once you get it built and you can start painting it, again, it's also not that much that you have to paint, as you don't have to paint an entire body. So these busts are a really good way to get into painting and building kits, and also something that's an incredibly fun thing to do if you're kind of a seasoned veteran with kits. They're just that beautiful. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get a closer look at this beautiful Pentaceratops bust right now. So as you can see, this thing is absolutely overloaded with beautiful sculpt and detail in every area. You can see the beak in general, kind of starting here at the front of the face of our Pentaceratops, is gorgeous. So many cracks and crevices included in that area. There's just a lot going on sculpt-wise, which really makes it, again, pretty easy for you to paint in a very realistic way when it includes such beautiful detailing. You can also see the horn right here above the nasal area of the Pentaceratops is quite beautifully painted. The nostril is sculpted out as well, which I have highlighted with a darker coloration. You can just generally see how nice the mouth looks right here as well. Really nice kind of creasing here as you reach the rear of the mouth right there. That looks really good, I think. Some really beautiful detailing here on the side horns sticking out of the side of the head of the Pentaceratops. Some beautiful detail there around the eye. The eye is really nice and easy to paint because the eye is actually sculpted out itself. You can see in general the skin texture looks really gorgeous all over the model as well. And then moving back up here into the frill area, you could see some kind of like osteoderms poking up, kind of like some scoots, I guess you could say, running up along the course of the frill, as well as the spikes here that run along the side of the frill on the outside. They're really beautifully sculpted. Lots of really nice detail within. You can see like lots of cracks and crevices included within those areas. That looks really good. The horns themselves are actually really nicely sculpted as well, sporting some incredible detail within the actual horns. You can see lots of really nice cracks and crevices in that area as well. And then taking a look here at the front of the actual frill, you can see again detail galore as far as the frill goes. You have kind of another line of those scoots that run up the middle and then over here again. And you can also see some osteoderms poking up here and there in the center, I guess you could say, area of the frill. And just in general, the texturing and the detailing of the frill is pretty much off the charts, especially looking at kind of those horns up there and the cracks and crevices included within those areas. And then coming back here into the body, you can see that the actual skin texture is, again, phenomenal. It really genuinely looks like a really large living animal as far as like the way that that skin is detailed. It generally looks like something I would see on a very large kind of modern animal, and it, again, gives the entire bust, I feel, like a very lifelike appearance. You can see some osteoderms poking up here and there on the back area of the dinosaur as well. The underside looks really good also. Some beautiful detailing there in the throat region, and you can actually kind of see the throat itself right there. As I turn it, you can get a good idea of the throat. Really nice skin texture in pretty much every aspect of the figure. Even the back of the frill is beautifully textured, really highly detailed in every way. Again, you can see the skin texturing over here on this side of the bust also looks incredible. Again, such really nice, realistic looking skin texture on this in every area. It just looks incredible and really, again, kind of paints itself. It's so good as far as the actual detailing goes that applying paint kind of makes it look like it comes to life because of the paint, but honestly, it's just the detail using the paint to show you just how good it is overall. And then coming down into this side of the face, the dinosaur is pretty much totally neutral, of course, being a bust like this. There's not really too much going on this side compared to the previous side, and you can really see straight above. It's just totally looking straight forward. There's not really anything going on with this bust at all. Some of the others have had kind of like a turned head and things like that. This one is just totally looking straight forward. So detail-wise, you're really not going to find anything different on this side compared to the previous side, but that means that this side is just as beautifully detailed as the previous side as well. But then as far as the base, it's your standard base as far as these Micromania busts go. Again, I've tried to give it another alternate paint job, but it kind of gets tough after a while as there's only so much you can do with earthy areas, and at 6 bases now, trying to keep each one looking a little different is a little hard, but you can see that it's a really, really nicely detailed base, but it's the same base that we've had every single time so far from these Micromania busts, and of course, that means that this one also is beautiful, very highly detailed, and an incredible addition to the set overall. Of course, adding your Pentaceratops to the base is as easy as it has been every single time so far, as you have a peg sticking out here of the throat of our Pentaceratops, and then you just take that, you slide it into the hole right here on the top of the base. It might take a little convincing for it to go in, but then once it goes in, it stands in there really nicely, and you can spin it around if you would like so that you can turn your dinosaur bust to whatever angle you would like to display it from. And again, the entire thing is absolutely awesome. As far as a size on our Pentaceratops goes, for a length, actually we'll turn it totally to the side here. For a length, you are looking at roughly the 4-inch range, or about 10 centimeters. And then for a height, about 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters, somewhere in that range. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line next to our Black Heart Models Micromania Pentaceratops bust, and hopefully next to these figures here you'll have a good idea again of the smaller size, but the smaller size is actually great because again it allows you to purchase a kit at a really cheap price and kind of get into model painting and building at the same time if you're just a really good, well-seasoned vet, I guess, of painting and building model kits. It's also another really good, really highly detailed kit that you can pick up for cheap to build and paint yourself. So either way, it's a win-win, and hopefully these figures next to it will help to show you that. So this Black Heart Models Micromania Pentaceratops bust is beautiful, just like every single one of the busts so far from the Micromania line has been. And again, every single one has just been absolutely gorgeous, and I think a lot of the reason, of course, would have to do with the sculptor of the busts, and quite a few of these, if not all of them, I'm not too sure if it's all of them or only a few, but I know Shane Folks of Cretaceous Creations of America is behind a lot of the sculpts of these, and he is probably one of, if not the best dinosaur sculptors of all time, so of course that instantly is going to tell you why this is greatness before you, but just generally looking at it, you can see that it is gorgeous in every way. The sculpt is very highly detailed, and being a bust, there's not really too much to go off of as far as, creating a really highly detailed dinosaur. You only have the head and just a little tiny bit of like the neck region to work with, and I think this is beautifully done. So much detail put into this in every possible area that you would expect to find it, and at the same time it's just kind of a really neutral pose for this model, as a lot of the other ones again have had kind of like a little curve in the head, a turn, things like that, but this Pentaceratops is just straightforward, just straight to the point. It is a beautiful bust of a beautiful extinct prehistoric animal, and I think it was perfectly sculpted. Everything about it, I love it. I love that kind of neutral-like positioning to the head and everything. It just kind of makes me feel like it's just a Pentaceratops walking along, maybe just heading to the watering hole or something. He has a very serious look on his face, and he looks like he means business. He just wants something to drink or something to eat. Something along those lines, I feel like, is kind of what I'm looking at here as far as the actual pose of the bust goes, but You also have the really nice base to the bust, which is pretty much, again, the standard base that you get with these Micromania busts, but I love that as well as the fact that you get all the same kind of base, the same style base with each and every one of them, because then as far as the complete set goes, they all look like they belong perfectly together. And once I actually get done reviewing the next two of these busts, as there's a Triceratops and a Ceratosaurus as well, I will actually bring out all of my Micromania busts to show you how incredible the entire set looks together. So if you would like to pick this up, and trust me, it is a beautiful model and a great choice if you do decide to pick it up, make sure you check the description, as I will have a link right there to the Black Heart Models website where you can head on over there and buy yourself this or any of the other incredible Micromania busts that they currently offer, which they actually offer a lot more than just dinosaurs. There is a ton of stuff when it comes to even movie monsters, Star Trek, all kinds of stuff on there. Even Godzilla has a few busts on the Micromania website. So make sure you check the Micromania website through the description, as I will again have a link there for you. And make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.